Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this. This is your very first DragonGate review from me. This is DragonGate King of Gate 2016 Night 1 from 8th of May 2016. I apologize, I'm holding the mic right now like an absolute fucking toilet. However, my toiletries are out, and I've currently damaged and really fucked up my gimmick stand there. So I have a choice: either don't use anything, as my fucking headset broke, or I use this and hold it, I look like an imbecile. So this is what you get. So I do apologize for looking absolute Nimrod. If you've watched this show, please put in the comments, was this show a win? Was this show a loss? Was this show a tie? Also, we'll be going to some live comments if we have any. I know it's a really strange and peculiar time right now. It's 3 p.m. UK time. Normally we do these shows very much later on during the evening, UK time anyway. So in American time, you're probably around about 10, 9 a.m. But if you're watching this later on in the day after it's been live, put in the comments either some questions, some queries, or opinions on this show and on the DragonGate King of Gate 2016 show. I will only be covering the block matches, okay? The tournament started on May the 8th and will finish in June the 12th, simultaneously with obviously the New Japan Best of Super Juniors tournament, which will be coming up shortly. That starts on May the 21st. So some great Japanese professional wrestling your way coming on this channel. The way this tournament is formatted. Blocks. Okay, guys, there's 4 blocks. The winner of each block advances to the semifinals. You get the winner of block A faces the winner of block B, the winner of block C faces the winner of block D, and then obviously the finals is the winners of the semifinals facing off, and the winner becomes obviously the King of Gate. So there's 4 matches here that I'm going to be covering. In case you're wondering, you can purchase these events, so please find a way you can, or obviously if it's a pirate's life for you, go out of your way to watch this, because this wasn't by no means a great show, but I was thoroughly entertained and enjoyed every single aspect of this show. So without lollygagging and pussyfucking around, because I want to get this done as soon as possible so I can jump on the PWME news bandwagon. So we have Block C, the opening match of this tournament. We have Cyber Kong versus Ryo Jimmy Saito. Cyber Kong, in case you didn't know, he's a really good. I mean, he looks great. I mean, he looks great, I mean, he's a physical specimen. He doesn't look great as in he has abs. I mean, the guy is strange. I mean, he's wearing gear where his abs are painted, but he doesn't have any abs. So imagine a guy, say, who's a good example of a guy with the gut? It'd be like Wesley Blake. Okay, we did the NXT review, so please check out the NXT review that we did. Wesley Blake, imagine him painting on abs. Every now and then when he tenses, he might get 1 or 2, but it just looks really strange. But if you're around with the Orlando and Florida Independents, Full Impact Pro used to have this guy on their roster. But the match starts off with an insane backsplash from Cyber. I mean, really landed hard on Saito body. And everything that, DragonGate, the New Japan, that Pro Wrestling Noah, they do is so much crisper, so much more hard-hitting than anything you're going to see in America. I don't even care if it's the American Independents. These guys really do hit each other hard and really nail it in. Saito then tries several times to suplex him, so when he finally hits the Fisherman Buster, it gets a great reaction. I do love that. It's good storytelling. Saito then gets spiked really badly on his head from a Michinoku driver from Kong, and then Kong from out of nowhere hits a lariat to get the win. I mean, it was an okay match. I mean, the heel heat stint from Kong was just a bit slow and a bit draggy, but it picked up nicely towards the end, and I'm going to talk about picking up towards the end a lot more in this show. But still, that Michinoku driver was savagery. Kong now obviously on 2 points, Saito on 0. That's Block C. We now move on quickly to a Block A match. We have Yamato versus Punch Tominaga. I do apologize if I'm slaughtering this name. This is actually the very first. I've watched DragonGate USA before, but obviously now that's defunct. That's no longer a part of, no longer an active federation anymore. This is my actually very first exposure to DragonGate, so I've heard of Yamato, and I can obviously see, judging, from the fan reaction, that he's a fan favorite. I mean, there were streamers in the ring. The match started off with a nice handshake to start. I mean, the crowd really into this and behind Yamato. The crowd much more into this than the opening match. Match also some nice technical offense from the start. And a question for you guys: are you obviously Pro Wrestling fans, if you're listening out there, and obviously you more hardcore Japanese wrestling fans? Can someone put in the comments why Yamato isn't in W, or why he hasn't been, and why he's not on their radar? Why there's never any talk of Yamato being interested in coming to W? Does he like Okada, where he's loyal to DragonGate? I don't know. I mean, this guy. I mean, he's got the look that they like and that they're usually after. I mean, he's a great athlete. I mean, charisma. He's not that charismatic, but there's a tone about him. There's a mystique about him when he comes out. He owns the room he walks in. So I kind of don't really know why Yamato's never really had a shot in WWE. Maybe he has back in the day, But from what I'm gathering, I mean, I've never seen Yamato in a WWE ring or an NXT ring, or maybe he was in part of developmental and it didn't work. But someone please in the comments below tell me why Yamato hasn't been in WWE. And also someone explain why Tamanga keeps putting his hands in his pockets. Is this guy fucking feeding himself or something? Literally every 5 minutes he keeps putting both his hands in his pockets. He's either feeling his junk or doing something ever. But at one point he put his hands in his pockets on the top rope and hit a drop kick. It looked pretty awesome, but I just don't get it. Tomaninga hits a slingshot spear into the ring, Gargano-esque. Tominga then misses a moonsault off the top. Yamato with a vicious spike Michinoku driver and the Galaria to get the win. I mean, after the match, Cyber Kong and some toilets in red come and beat on Yamato, and then toilets come and made the save for Yamato. Dude, this, again, my very first Dragon Gate show. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get you guys into Dragon Gate as well so we can learn together. Okay, and then obviously on the way we can have the hardcore Dragon Gate fans in the comment section below. Obviously, if when we're live, we'll have some live comments, helping us along the way. I think that will be absolutely awesome. So I do not know who came to make the save and why, but again, I apologize. This isn't the best review ever. I'm just really dissecting the matches. But storyline-wise, I really didn't understand this. But again, bear with me. This is my very first Dragon Gate show. And as we continue on with this tournament, I think it'll become easier and more easier and more easier. And we'll come to know these talents together if you are following. So please do follow this series. Decent match. I'm going to give it 2 stars. The opening match, by the way, with Cyber Kong and Ryo Jimmy Saito, I gave a 1 3/4. This match I give 2 stars. A bit better than the first. It was just a bit too short. I mean, I didn't really... Yamato is good and all, but the match itself didn't do anything for me. Match of the evening, as we have Gamma versus Naruki Doi. I've heard of both of these men. Gamma a lot more old. I mean, I think back in 2010 they came over for a Dragon Gate UK show, and I didn't remember seeing him live. I think I had the DVD a couple of years ago now, because I bought it from amerchandise.com, which is a big wrestling store in the UK that sells Japanese wrestling DVDs, and I remember purchasing it. But he looks a lot older now. Naruki Doi, really, really a lot more. What's the word? He looks more like a star now than what he did 6-7 years ago. That was the last time I saw them. And the referee has long hair. I mean, this is so strange, bro. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that in the history of me watching pro wrestling. I don't think I've ever seen it before. And the match starts off them exchanging some nasty strikes. They're giving that real personal feel. Doi then with Gamma hung up on the ropes, hits a swanton bomb off the top. They continue to exchange some fucking nasty slaps and strike. And then, come to think of it, that referee might be a girl. Long hair, she might have had boobs. Dude, I don't know. I've never seen a woman referee in my life. Maybe it's a woman referee. Maybe that's why there's long hair. Maybe it's Yamato's twin brother. Who knows? Gamma then just laid out flat on the canvas. He sold like he's either blown up or really hurt. And I was actually like concerned for a little while, but then he just bounces up, spits some mist or some. He might actually spit in his face and then hits a modified tombstone for 2. They have a beautiful run-up exchange. And I love the part of a Japanese match where all of a sudden, you start off hot and then it just goes down. You get the heat. Then all of a sudden it clicks again and the pace just quickens. The strikings get a lot more harder and a lot more stiff. And the pace just quickens up. And I fucking love that. They go back to slaps. Gamma then rolls through a backslide variation. So imagine a backslide, but then rolling through that as well to get the win. Doi gets straight up, pissed, and screams at the ref. He or she doesn't take shit and just says, look, 3, fuck off. Not literally like that, but that's how it came across as a non-Japanese speaking fan. I'm going to give it a 2 1/4, maybe 2 1/2, depending on how generous you are. This was a bit much out so far match of the night, but the match of the night goes to the main event, which I'm going to be covering in a minute. But it was a very good match. Like, again, the strikes were good. The story of, Gamma just being out of breath, but then, fighting just because this is how important the King of Gate tournament is to him. That story came across to me and hit home, and I enjoyed this a lot. So 2 1/4 star, good stuff. Then in the main event, we have a Block B. So just to summarize right now, Block C, the leader right now is Cyber Kong with 2 points. Block A, Yamato's in the lead with 2 points. And Block D, Gamma is in the lead with 2 points. And then in the final match of the evening, we have another Block B match. We have Shima versus Akira Tozawa. Seeing Tozawa in Dragon Gate USA a few times, I was a huge fan of that federation. And also he's been on PWG, absolute awesome talent. I mean, he comes out, he looks like a bad motherfucker. If you saw this guy in the street and you had no clue who he was, you would not mess with him. He looks like a bad motherfucker. Straight off the bat, though, Chima just attacks him as he basically... Tozawa does this awesome thing where he's on the top rope, but then he stands on the metal pole, and then lifts his leg up. So he's basically stand there. Then he jumps in, rolls up, and goes to do his pose. But as he goes to do the pose, as he just rolls up, Chima just nails it with a dropkick and then smashes him outside with a suicide dive. Chima then starts working the leg of Tozawa. Tozawa, no selling the leg at all. I mean, literally about 5 minutes, guys, of solid work of working this leg. And I'm literally sat there rubbing my hands because I'm thinking, you know what? If Chima's working this leg, that means Tozawa is going to be selling to the point where he won't be able to do his dives, won't be able to do his springboards, won't be able to do his kick and bicycle kick strikes. It's going to be an awesome psychology match. As you guys know, I'm a huge mark for psychology. But Tozawa just no-sells the leg. Split after he just throws him outside, hits a fucking running springboard flip over the top to the floor. But as he does that, his ass literally lands on the apron. That must have hurt. So imagine this. So he goes run, springboard, and then instead of going like that, like ACH, he kind of went run springboard, but then he kind of fell off the top and just landed on his ass. It looked absolutely horrific. Must have hurt. Tozawa then hit several backsplashes, and again, like earlier on, these aren't, in all due respect, a Kevin Owens or a Samoa Joe backsplash where he just about connects. These guys are jumping really high in the air and just splashing them, not caring for their body, just landing really hard in the abdomen area. Really good stuff. Tozawa then hits a backsplash off the top, which looked fucking awesome. I thought it was going to be like a typical Bubba Ray move where he does the backsplash, but Chima would have moved, but he didn't. It looked really nice. Chima then hits a lung blower. Now the crowd getting into it. They're getting behind Chima now. Chima hits a dirty, disgusting, disgraceful double stomp to the face. He literally just, Tozawa's just kind of sitting up, and then Chima just runs and just double stomps the fuck out of his face. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful stuff. Chima then hits a double knee stop off the second rope with another hard landing on the body of Tozawa. Chima then hits a reversed razor edge off the top. So instead of Tozawa landing on his back, he lands on his face and stomach. Really nasty stuff. Tozawa hits a brainbuster off the top for two. Psychology thrown out the window right now, but it's a fucking awesome spot fest. They exchange some awesome counters to counters to counter. These guys obviously know each other very well. Obviously, if there was English commentary, it would be able to help tell that story, but obviously I'm not a fluent Japanese talker. Tozawa then hits a deadlift German for two, and insane near full. Literally, commentators are coming everywhere. It's insane. Chima with a dirty spike DDT and a double knee stop off the top to get the win. Chima gets the win. Both men laid out tired, battered and bruised. No word of a lie. They just both lie there for a good 30 seconds to a minute until Chima finally celebrates. Really good match here. I'm going to give this 4 stars. Really recommend you guys to watch this. I would have given it higher if they actually used and actually told a better story of the psychology, because if there wasn't the actual element where Chima actually went out of his way to work the leg of Tozawa, then I might not have been offended. But as a huge fan of storytelling and psychology, I thought it was a bit irritating. But in the end of the day, I'm not going to take away from what those men gave their bodies for. Fuck me, they busted their ass. Great work rate. They hit hard. Psychology annoyed me at the beginning, but by the end, I didn't give a fuck, because this was just awesome. Awesome stuff, really good stuff, and I fully recommend you watching that. So just again to summarize, because obviously you're going to come on me with this journey of the Dragon Gate reviews. Block C, Cyber Kong's in the lead right now. Block A, Yamato, Gamma in the lead of Block D, and Chima in the lead with that amazing 4-star match against Akira Tozawa in Block B. So should we preview tomorrow? Let's preview next show, okay? So that's it for, again, this Dragon Gate review for the fucking first night. So here's night 2. Let's have a quick look. Again, there is results out there, but I'm going to give you a spoiler-free, because I'm not into spoilers. So 11th of May was night 2, and these are the block matches. So block D, we have Big R Shimizu versus Gamma. Obviously, Gamma in the lead, looking to extend his lead. And then block B, we have Tozawa versus Eita. And then in Block C, we have Masaki Mochizuki versus T-Hawk. And then the main event, Shingo Tagachi versus Yamato in the main event. That's going to be an awesome match. I'm looking forward to that, definitely. So expect that maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after, who knows. But I'm going to give you the best damn coverage of Dragon Gate, King of Gate you've ever seen in your life. Also going to give you the coverage of New Japan Best of Super Juniors 23 tournament that's coming up. We're probably going to do a preview of that, give our predictions. Tonight coming a SmackDown review, a Lucha Underground review. Obviously, I'm going to keep on top of the news, rumors and gossip and TV ratings of all the wonderful and wacky world of professional wrestling. Thank you very much for watching this show. Come on this journey with me as we learn Dragon Gate together. So make sure you check out Dragon Gate. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you check out all the links in the description box. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at LK Wrestling. Make sure you follow Dave Coco on Twitter at KocoSports. More importantly, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because you do not want to miss a single show. Thank you so much for watching this. Like, comment, subscribe, pressing.me, KocoSports.net. This has been LK. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll be damn sure catching your asses down the line.